The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Monday in the Riv, getting ready to start another week. This is a big week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here.
Oh, week. Yeah. Because remember,
that's
we
right.
got another one.
We got another one. So let's get to Admiral COVID right away so we can get into the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah, well, 539,644 total cases in Massachusetts, 1,316 new cases, 15,508 total deaths, 46 new deaths, and 54,825 cases in Bristol County. As you remember, the mayor only announces Fall River numbers on Thursday, and last Thursday he announced that we had 164 new cases, giving us 12,053 and 7 new fatalities, bringing us up to 308. So the numbers are going down. I mean, which is a good thing. We're just hoping that there isn't another spike. And for full disclosure, I'm fully vaccinated against COVID. I got my second vaccine on Saturday, so I'm a happy little camper.
They should give you like a hat to wear when you got that. Like I'm vaccinated. So, but
this is what they give you.
Oh wow! Wow, you got to carry that around, you know. So
it's a sticker. They're stickers.
Stick it on your forehead. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. It goes right here.
Hey, well, good. Congratulations, you're safe. You know, and
something.
Yeah. So, you know, the COVID again. There's another dispute. They want to keep us locked up until Christmas. These, you know, for political reasons. Yet a lot of doctors are saying that the herd immunity should actually make this so we can begin to return to some normalcy next, you know, in April. That again, we've got mass confusion and conflicting stories. But you know, if they're going to keep you locked down until Christmas, is going to be purely for political reasons. It's like keeping National Guard in Washington until September. You know, isn't it ironic though that these people who wanted to defund the police, bail out criminals, didn't care about people who were being burnt out, shot, beat up, maimed. As soon as somebody gets near them, like Lori Lightfoot, she called the entire Chicago Police Department when they got to her house, as did Nancy Pelosi. And now all the little snowflakes up in Washington want to make it look like an Afghan war zone, a forward operating base. So because they say, oh, there's a big threat. And so they still want to keep thousands of National Guard troops and spend billions of tax dollars for their manufactured baloney. So you know, again, government at its most obscene. And while we're talking about governments at its most obscene, let's Matt Malone got another fan letter, huh?
Oh yes, we did. We got another fan letter from Matt Malone. From Matt Malone's people. This one is on the scathing side of, I guess, the letter. I mean, it's very graphic. There's more F-bombs in this letter. This is the complaint. This is the complaint that was filed. There's more F-bombs in this letter than unbelievable. And this was sent to the school committee, and again, no action taken. Good, and that's also the mayor. Good morning, school committee. I am writing to make you aware of my 1-year experience with the Florida Public Schools. FRPS is a fantastic district. I love my job, and the people that work in Fall River are exceptional. I also found the city enjoyable. I visited many local shops and restaurants. Unfortunately, I am writing to tell you my experience of working with Superintendent Malone. He is an abusive and hateful man. I have never worked under the conditions I worked for in this past year. I remember at the second interview, Superintendent Malone asked, "What if I say the F word?" I told him I had no problem with that. I come from Providence. I have worked with many difficult people, and I have worked with people in the past who lose their cool and swear. No biggie. I never imagined that swearing would be directed towards me or others. I will give you a few examples of behavior I observed or was a target of. A common occurrence in Dr. Malone sitting at his desk and screaming, "Where the F is Ken? Where the F is Kevin? Get effing Ken here now. Who the F is upstairs?" And everyone was expected and did jump. Many women said to me, "I would not allow my husband to speak to me the way the superintendent speaks to me." I agreed. No one in my life has ever spoken to me the way he has. He regularly called Brian Michalewski an idiot, retard, and threatened to fire him in executive meetings. He once asked me to send an email, and I waited about 15 minutes because he wouldn't speak to me. I thought he was confused because this was not an email I thought he wanted sent to everyone. He screamed, "Send it," so I did. 3 minutes later, he grabs his head with his hands and is shaking it back and forth, screaming, "What the F did you do? You sent this effing email to the wrong people. I'm going to lose my effing job. Where the F is Ken? Ken." I ran down the hall and explained to Ken what happened. He then calmed the superintendent down. The straw that broke the camel's back was by early December, I was crying every day. I'm not usually a crier, because every day there was more and more abuse. I felt like a woman in an abusive relationship. He came in and was angry about Rob Correa not notifying him of a suspension, and he asked me why he didn't know, and I responded, I didn't know. I found out when he did. Then he started screaming at the top of his lungs, "What are you, effing stupid? How can you be so effing stupid? What the F is going on around here?" A few days later, I sent him the letter that is forwarded below. I forwarded this to you so that you could see the date it was sent. 2 hours after receiving that email, Dr. Malone came in, called me into his office to tell me he was moving me upstairs. He started off with, "You're not executive material. What did you do in Providence?" I responded, "I worked in the superintendent's office for 8 years. You know that." He said, "Well, I'm moving you upstairs, and I am bringing Paula down." He went on to say, "I was a good person, had a great work ethic, and he had no hard feelings." I responded that this wasn't fair because I know I'm doing a good job and everyone tells me. He said, "No, they're just being nice. No one likes you. They all complain about you," he said. "School committee members have complained about you." I said, "I feel this is in retribution to my email." And he said it wasn't. That was it. He dismissed me. I was moved less than a week later. I would like to add, he never spoke to his assistant superintendent, Julia Carlson, about taking her secretary of 3 years. He also never spoke to Paula, and FYI, Paula didn't apply or interview for the job when it was posted. She didn't want it. It was forced on her, and now ask her how he treats her. He just ordered them both. During this time, I spoke to an attorney because I had everything documented, but ultimately, I did not want my name associated with a lawsuit. When my contract was not renewed, nothing was ever said about my work. Tom said, "He's the boss and he doesn't want you here," or something like that. I said, "You know, he abused me for all these months." Tom responded, "Do you want to file a complaint?" I worked in Providence schools for 27 years. I have had difficult bosses. I've had bosses who swore, who were unfair, who lied, but never in my 27 years, especially in the executive office, have I seen the kind of behavior displayed and accepted. I am sorry to say, but this lands squarely on the hands of the Director of Human Resources. Tom knew of the abuse, not just me, but many others, and protected no one but the superintendent. Ken spoke with the superintendent more than once about how he treated me. Kevin even spoke to him. Julia and Ann said something also. but everyone were rebuffed. I urge you to do an investigation within 407 Rock Street, but you must assure people they will be without repercussions for their honesty, or no one will speak. People are terrified of Matt Malone, but if you get them to speak, they will tell you stories that will make your hair stand up.
Well, that line, I think that thing was posted, correct? So people.
Yes, it was.
So I guess, when I listened to that letter, and I've read it a few times actually, and at the beginning of the letter, she talks about she didn't mind if he used the F word. I think that was wrong because obviously she said she's from Providence. But see, there's a case of be careful what you wish for, because she didn't realize that Matt Malone majored in using the F-bomb as a noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, dangling participle, and every other grammatical area in the English language. Now, if half of that is true, and we've seen a whole bunch of it, this is absolutely appalling to allow, this guy with these letters that was sent to the school committee to be employed. This is what really irks me about this. They got this letter. We've seen the other letters. We haven't seen that report. But did you notice something about this letter? Tom said he's the boss. Is that the Tom who got his job back from this guy?
Yes, it is.
So that calls into question something, right?
That's right.
So again, and I just read somewhere where this Tom's son went from intern to vice principal to principal at warp speed, with never making a stop at the classroom. And that's that's an allegation that was posted. This is the issue here to me. The light has been shined on the school committee, and it's corruption, it's patronage, it's cronyism. And we all know this takes place, but to the degree it takes place here. This is a club. It's a club. And you only get what you want if you're part of the club. We have Bruce Assad going to court to block the minutes of the meeting. $90,000 a year for God knows how many years, 30 years or maybe more than 30 years. He's been the lawyer for the school department, getting $90,000 a year. He doesn't litigate anything. They farm everything out. And his job is to provide cover for these people. And everybody keeps saying, oh, you people, you're making these allegations. You don't know the full story. Well, we don't know the full story because you won't give us the full story. That's and right. You got a lawyer there who's being paid to be a lawyer, the people's lawyer, the school committee's lawyer. And the school committee is commissioned to provide education. They're there to represent the people and ensure that we have a professional superintendent, not somebody that uses the F-bomb in every other sentence in a work environment. Hey, you want to listen to that? Go to the bar room. You want to listen to that? Go to a barracks. You do not expect that kind of stuff in a workplace environment. And they all know it. We've seen letters. They've been printed of people who talked about the way he behaved, and they not only kept them on, there's a conscious effort. There is a conspiracy. And we had a big debate about that word, the mayor and I. There is a conspiracy to suppress the facts. There is a conspiracy to throw a blanket over this so there's no transparency. My position on this issue is you keep telling us that you made those decisions because we don't know all the facts. My position is give us all the facts. Release the minutes, release the reports, and let the people judge. Let the people judge, because one of the people involved in it said he made a decision in the best interest of the public. And as I said on a previous show, he has every right to think that. However, he may never get in public office again, because if that report is half as bad as these letters, that man should have been terminated instantly. He should have been terminated a long time ago. Not like we didn't know what was coming. We knew what was coming, but apparently they didn't. And this opens up a whole can of worms. And I know there's a lot of lawsuits out there, but I'm waiting for somebody to file a complaint with the Attorney General's office and the Department of Public Fraud to have this entire thing and this inbred Jed stuff that's going on over there investigated. Because this isn't just the case of a bunch of political hacks keeping one of their buddies on the job. At least 3 of them who checked the box that they could make a decision we're fundamentally lying. You can't tell me that this behavior, either they're the 3 most
obtuse,
incompetent, they're the most incompetent school committee people we've ever had. Putting aside the fact that one of them is a court officer and was allowing violations of the law, sexual harassment, ADA, age discrimination, to go on. I think he's bound to report that stuff, because school teachers are bound to report violations of the law. If they see a kid they think's being abused, they have to do it. But what do we got here? We got a giant cover-up. We got a lawyer using our tax dollars, being paid by us, going there to provide cover for the school committee.
And remember this though. Remember, he's getting paid to represent the school committee, but on any legal issues, he's got to turn them over to Rumsey. He's got to turn them over to corporate counsel for the city to handle them. So why are we paying him so many duplication of services? And you and I have spoken about this before. Yeah. Why do they need a treasurer? Why do they need a human resources director? What's going on? I mean, it's unbelievable.
No, you're 100%, and you covered that in the flush. So read
yes,
the flush.
I did.
It was the War and Peace version. It was pretty long, but it was pretty informative. But like I said, therein lies the problem that I have. You know, everybody has a right to make a decision. You know, I can make a decision to drive 120 miles an hour with bald tires and take a chance I'm going to get a blow up and die. May not be the greatest decision in the world. And they're school committee people. So if they make a decision, we have to evaluate their performance as school committee people. And in order to see, this has become a powder keg to allow this type of behavior, documented behavior in letters, and then suppress the big report with all these other machinations that are going on. The mayor's brother got his job back. Another relative got something else. Somebody's wife got something. Somebody's daughter got something. This looks like a giant. This looks like a giant pay for play plot, or pay back because you got your job. And if somebody said, "Look, this guy did everything that they said he did, but I think we should still keep him as superintendent," there's nothing you can say about that. But when you see all the facts, you can say, well, if you think a guy like this deserves to be employed and create the kind of environment he's created in our school system, you'll never get my vote again. So, I mean, this is outrageous. This is beyond outrageous, because you got a lawyer attempting to suppress evidence. And what they think they didn't think this would come to out into the light of day. They figured they'd go to court, pay these people off, get a non-disclosure, and just and use the Terry Sullivan thing. Keep your mouth shut, keep your head down. Everybody will forget them in another month. And then they'll get reelected again because they'll say, what a great job we do as a school committee. So, hey, this is crazy. And like I said, I'm going to have to look up what Malone majored in. It might be the ubiquitous use of the F-bomb.
Isn't that a master's level course in education?
Yeah, it could be a PhD level, CJ. So.
That's true. It could be. But, the thing that's getting me is that the school committee is refusing to listen to the people and what the people want. They've been posting pictures of snow mounds that have had painted on them in red and black, okay? Which red and black are the colors of Durfee. Red and black. Fire Malone. Painted on snow mounds. Fire Malone. That can't be clearer. You have people posting all over Facebook. Fire Malone. They've even made it a hashtag. Hashtag Fire Malone. So what part of that aren't they getting? What part of that aren't they getting? They've got to open up their eyes. They've got to open up their minds. They've got to realize it's time to take back our government. It's time to be sure that we, the people, are represented the way we want. I don't want to hear anymore that we don't have the facts. We don't have the facts because you're trying to hide the facts. And with you trying to hide the facts, we're never going to get the facts. We're never going to get the facts. And now you've got the Secretary of State making the decision on whether or not we can get the facts because you may not have the right to withhold them. And that's another big issue. Another major issue. And when you look at this, and like you said, Meg Mayo Brown terminated Tom Coogan's job, his contract, or his job, whatever it may have been. But when Matt Malone came back, and I believe Paul was on the school committee at that time, Tom Coogan was rehired. Was he rehired because he's a yes man? Was he rehired because Paul wanted his brother to have a job again? What is the situation? And then Paul recuses himself because his brother has the job. People are supposed to go to human resources when they have problems. They're supposed to go to human resources when they have complaints. But if you go to this director of human resources, you get nothing. You don't get any protection. You don't get any investigations. It's a joke. It's a joke. And the people don't understand how much of a joke it is. And it's time for the people to understand that we, the people, have the right to ask for accountability. We, the people, want accountability. And we, the people, are going to demand it. And if we don't demand it, come the November elections this year, I'm going to tell you now, you get the government you deserve. You get the government you deserve because this cannot continue on. And this is what's happening. This is going to cost us hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And we're going to keep him on. He should resign to spare the city any more, disrespect, any more, hate, any more of any of it to cause a healing amongst the people and let us come together. And if he resigned, he could do that. He'd at least resign with a little bit of respect and dignity. Otherwise, he's not going to have that. And that's just not acceptable.
Well, you're right. And, the problem we have here is, and I had to leave that because Abby has been a bad girl. That's the comforter.
Yep.
Some of the comforter. She's decided to get in trouble. But while I'm talking, because she knows I can't. This is the problem. How about the work environment this individual has created? How about the stress? You couldn't get away with this anywhere else in the country. You wonder why Fall River is Fall River? This is what's running Fall River. The good old boys club. We all know who the money men are. We know who's pushing the buttons. And then you get these people in, and they have already got the lineup. Who's going to be the mayor? How many terms they get? Who's the next guy in line? You get on the school committee. They don't care the kind of havoc that this guy wreaks, bullying and badgering people. I mean, this guy's making Cuomo look like a choir boy. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Getting jobs for all their friends, all their relatives. And then, you're going to check that box? Check that box. There should be another complaint filed with the Ethics Commission. That's why I say this should go to the Attorney General to tell the Ethics Commission that these individuals said they could make an unbiased decision, and they got some big-time pay for this one. People got some good jobs. They created jobs. There's way too much. Prove us wrong. Release the report. We've got letters already. Is it okay if your wife worked in that office and every other word was an F-bomb, and your wife was called an effing idiot, or your daughter was called an effing idiot, and a retard, and every other thing you can? This is a professional. This guy's a professional. It doesn't matter that he got run out of Swampscott, run out of Brockton. Come to Fall River. They should make him tourism director, too. Give him another $100,000. Let him come to Fall River, where the F-bomb is a noun, pronoun, adjective, and adverb. Come to our school system where everybody is bullied and badgered and works under stress. Come where we have lawsuits. And then this is why the council has to take this up. How much money, as you said, are we going to spend covering for this guy? He only got one chance in Swampscott, and he went out and he ran out of there like his pants was on fire. He got run out of Brockton. They ran him out of town.
And they didn't even use the rail.
Right. And what does Fall River do? They renew his contract. Now they're talking about an extension. I'm telling you, like you said, CJ. I mean, this is beyond, I've seen a lot of favoritism. I always fought against it. You shouldn't get a job because you play golf with the boss. It should be a meritocracy. But we know politics. There'll always be some patronage. But this is out of control. I mean, this is out of control. There are allegations that the superintendent ordered a second job be created for Costa's wife. Told them, I don't care. You already hired a nurse. Hire a second one. We don't care. It's only the taxpayers' money. Who gives a damn? And it's also illegal. It's also illegal. As an elected official, that's fundamentally bribery, graft, political corruption. Let us see the report. Bruce Assad has been hanging on the tit for years, making $90,000 to do what? To provide cover for politically corrupt politicians? That's not what he's there for. Release the report. And who knows? I can guarantee you they're making calls to Boston to try to leverage the Secretary of State. And they should go to court after that if the Secretary of State doesn't give it to them. Go to court. Because, listen, if you don't release that report, none of you belong representing the people of Fall River, because you've proven in this circumstance you don't give a damn, because you just won't prove it. Prove it.
Exactly. Well, looks like we're out of time. I had some more stuff to go on, but, look at tonight's agenda for the school committee. Watch it and watch what they're doing. And remember, you were lied to about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay angry, and wear a mask. Thanks for watching.